Just gonna double check to make sure everything looks good. I don't know if anyone can hear me now. Um, just checking a couple of specs here. Because, when you're driving solo, sometimes you just don't know. You just never know, bro. But I think we're live. And we are. Word. Ooh. Oh, there we go. Cool. Sorry, had the window open as well. Hey everyone, welcome. Sorry I had to move the live yesterday. Just like warning, it sounds like I'm getting sick again. Not it sounds like, it feels like I'm getting sick again. You may hear it in my voice. You may hear me cough and sneeze here and there. So I'm just let you know that this stream may be interrupted by the fact that I'm probably getting sick again. Someone told me a while ago that when you have kids and they get sick, you're like always sick too. And I'm just like, yeah, I figured that would happen. But like, no one told me that it could be like for a while. They could get sick and then they could get sick again. And then you're also stuck. And it's crazy. No one told me how crazy it was. Anyway, thanks for coming, everyone. I guess introductions, if you haven't been here before, I'm Mel, the host of Mel, and today we're here to do some anime chill and chat. This is a new segment, I want to say a new segment, that we're trying to do monthly going forward for the foreseeable future, and if you're part of Patreon, you probably were part of the people that voted on Daemons of the Shadow Realm. So we're going to be talking about the first 1 to 4 episodes, the first 4 episodes of Daemons of the Shadow Realm. Anyway, aside from like me telling you what the vibe is, how is everyone doing? Monkey D. Jiraiya, thank you so much. I want to do a stream for this 1,000 sub celebration. Obviously, my top 10 video has been filmed. It just needs to be edited. So I'm hoping I could get that out this coming week, pending like how sick I am. Also, let me know how I sound. Regardless, we're trying to get that out there and then move on to the next thing, because I've got a lot of things that have been written and scripted and I just need to get them out there. But yeah, how is everyone doing? Happy Sunday evening. Thank you for accommodating the move. If you're here in the stream, make sure you like the stream. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not subscribed yet. And yeah, let's hang out, have a fun time, and like talk about Daemons of the Shadow Realm. If you have not watched episodes 1 through 4 of Daemons of the Shadow Realm, I don't know what you're doing here aside from supporting me, which I appreciate, but the problem is that like you may get spoiled if you have not seen any of it. But I hope everyone's having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, Sunday, Monday, whatever time zone you're in. How many of you are like caught up on Daemons of the Shadow Realm? I think that's like a great question and somewhere I could start, right? And like, how are you all enjoying Daemons of the Shadow Realm? I will say that I did not expect to enjoy it this much. And I'm not saying that because I don't think that Arakawa Himoru is not like a fantastic writer, because we obviously have Fullmetal Alchemist. But I will say that like sometimes when someone who's so hyped that has like a fantastic story, sometimes you just get like a smidge skeptical. You gotta like temper your expectations. So I didn't expect to enjoy it this much, and I didn't expect the pacing to be like this great. I don't know if anyone has like similar sentiments. What were your first impressions, I guess, of Daemons of the Shadow Realm if you're caught up? I'm just hydrating because I think I am getting sick. And I need to make sure that like the vocal cords stay lubricated, or else I will crash out before the live does, before a camera does, before a screen does, or before my lights do. Quiet. No first impressions on Daemons of the Shadow Realm? I mean, I could just dive in. That's not a problem. All right. Well, we could just. I was ready to sing. LOL. Yeah, Marco, totally. You will never catch me singing. The first episode caught me off guard with a modern technology. Yeah, absolutely. I like I did not expect any of it. Rhea sat, it's fire. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. You know what? Let's dive in. Marco says let's dive in. Let's dive in. All right, cool. So please let me know if you can also see my screen because again, flying solo. So sometimes we just don't know if the screen is sharing or not. Word. Okay, it looks like it's sharing. I'm seeing it. All right, awesome. So like we're going to break this down by episodes. Let's talk about it each and every episode. I mean, Joel already brought up the fact that like the modern technology was crazy, but I like the introduction. You know, first of all, very reminiscent of Fullmetal Alchemist. The character designs like feel so similar and so comfortable. I really enjoyed like seeing some of like these characters. I like Yuru's character design a lot. And I mean, like, if you see my episode, my spring 2026 anime episode, I talked a little bit about just like Yuru's appearance and then Asa's appearance. But we could get into that in a minute. So I love the fact that this opens up really chill. It gives you the vibe and the impression that this is set in like an olden day era. And I was like fully sold on that. I'm like, this is like going to be set in an older time compared to like Arakawa's sensei's work where, you know, it's more like technology heavy, feels more modern. And I was totally sold on this concept. And like, it feels, they set the tone so well with like Yuru going out, coming back from hunting. He comes back, the people in the village are hard at work. And they have like this whole barter system where like that's where I guess we kind of first meet Dara. Dara comes in with all of his like goods and trades because it seems like the village is like short on supplies. And I was like, damn, are y'all living in poverty? Like, is that the struggle out here? That's rough. But you know, as the story eventually starts to go and it starts to open up, these two look at the sky and they're like, yo, is it a dragon? And I'm like, hold up. Like, even for me, and I don't know how many of you thought it too, when the episode like opened up to this specific scene right here and they were yelling at the sky being like, oh my God, it's a dragon. I'm like, wait, is that how dragons sound like in this world? That sounds crazy. Like, imagine reading this in the manga and you can't hear sound and they're like saying like, oh, it's a dragon. Like, I would totally buy it. But when you're watching it in the anime, I'm like, yo, this is like insane. Like, why does this sound like an airplane? This does not sound like a dragon. Why does the dragons like, you know what I mean? Joel. But episode 3 and 4 have been hella funny trying to see the MC adapt to the modern world. See, and I feel like that's what like the writer of Fullmetal Alchemist does really well. They do a fantastic job of like balancing drama, action, and comedy, and like they blend it like perfectly. You know what I mean? Issues turn. I'm so happy the show is getting attention outside of Japan. It's good and gives off this nostalgic old school anime feel. Her writing is so damn good. Her writing is absolutely amazing. And I mean, I feel like it was going to have a really good debut just due to the fact that people love Fullmetal Alchemist. Like, I feel like people love it worldwide. So I thought like people were going to be gassing it up so much so that maybe they wouldn't be paying attention to like the plot, the writing, the pacing, and things like that. But to be honest, so far, I feel like they've done an amazing job. And I mean, this is probably due to the credit of the original sourcing, but it's giving like, this is a fantastic watch and a fantastic read. Joel, yeah, and then you hear the plane. Crazy. Why is there a plane? Ryasai is so crazy. Absolutely insane. So yeah, that's when mayhem breaks loose because it's not really a dragon. It's an airplane. It's an airplane. And then all of a sudden, like, this dome collapses and like you hear all this noise. There's a helicopter and then people start coming crashing down from the sky. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? So obviously this episode, and I want to say like they even kind of like talked about it in the trailers. They gave the impression that the Asa in the cage was not Asa. And then obviously they confirm it right away, like, holy crap, rip the band-aid off. Like they said, we're going to start off with this real slow vibe. But nah, we're just going to like rip off the band-aid and we're going to go full on hardcore with this, which honestly like really took me by surprise. But I like really loved the pacing of it. Like it really like grabbed people's attention in the first episode. And I feel like if a first episode can do that, we're in for a fun ride. Sometimes, not always the case. Sometimes it like falls flat after a little bit, but you know, we'll get into the other episodes. But yeah, seeing real Asa versus fake Asa and then real Asa just fake Asa was absolutely insane. I was like, hold on a second. Are we killing innocent people out here? Like that took me absolutely by surprise. Like how many of you thought like fake Asa was like a real human and was like, yo, this real Asa is off her rocks. And it gives you the impression like, oh my God, she's a bad baddie, like real bad, not a good character and probably the antagonist. But as we go on and as we continue to see like these people antagonizing the village, we meet this lovely lady right here. Oh man. Like I can't even explain to you my feeling when I saw this little girl. Like such chaotic energy, like gobble, gobble, gobble. And I understand that they were there to get Yuru. I understand that they were there because the villagers were like sheltering Yuru. But did she have to like gobble them all? And the fact that she said, I don't gobble children, I don't kill children is wild. Like that was your hard stop. Your hard stop was kids. I appreciate that your hard stop was children. Speaking of, I'm curious about why the villagers deserve to die. Yes. Okay. So that's a wonderful point and something that I was thinking about before this stream. Did all of those villagers need to die? And like, I understand that in future episodes, they talk about how the village has kind of like had this like contradictory like thought and beliefs compared to the people who have left the village. And that's the Kagemori clan that comes in and attacks. But did those people really need to die? Like it was their ancestors. And some of these people probably don't even know the full story between or behind Yuru and Asa and why maybe like they're these prophecy kids. She just didn't need to kill all those people. That was absolutely insane and justified. And I don't care how like less harmless her character comes off in the future. Like this moment right here, these moments right here, these defining moments, I just need to understand why. Why would we go in so hard and so hot against villagers that didn't even have weapons and didn't even know what was happening? LF24, she is designed like female Ed. She really is. Like we have Ed, like Yuru, and then we have this girl, and it's like female Ed, and it's kind of crazy. Like I feel like I need to look at FMA character designs to see if I can pinpoint somebody else, but her energy is like way too chaotic with the gobble gobble. Anyway, yeah. This episode really caught me off guard. It was really crazy. And then obviously at the very end of the episode, Deta comes in with a gun, and I'm like, wow, we're going deep with the modernization. It's very modern. Comes in with the gun, starts going off, and then finds Yuru, and he's like, Yuru, I'm your protector. This is my gift from me to you. Smashes his face into the ground, and lo and behold, we have left and right. And also, have you guys noticed that every single episode is something and something? Like it's always in pairs, just like how Daemons are in pairs. So, I mean, I feel like that's the crux of episode 1. When watching episode 1, I felt like it was such a great opener that like, if I had to rank it out of 10, I give it like a 8.5 to 9 out of 10. If you guys had to rate and rank episode 1, what would you rank it at? Pokemon 232, Joe don't like here in the dub. He doesn't like the dubbed. I haven't heard the dubbed. I heard the dubbed is good, but I haven't heard it yet. I've been watching it subbed. Issues turn. Maybe the grandma was running some kind of cult and they didn't seem evil. See, that's what I kind of think, because the grandma's sus. I don't know if it was this episode or in episode 2 that they kind of revealed that Fake Asa, I think is actually, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the grandma's Daemon, because she just came back to life. Like, all the blood was moving. It was very weird. And I was like, this might be her Daemon. This is why she's moving like this. Ryasa, she's female ed. Yeah, you know, like, as you guys are saying it, I'm seeing it more and more. LF24, 8.5, right? That's the energy it's giving. It's like 8.5, like very close to a 9, but not totally 9. But I thought this episode was a fantastic introduction. Like, kind of like skimmed what a Daemon, not what a Daemon is, but it like introduced them, and then was just like, let's hit them hard. Like, here's the world. This is not what it is. Issues turn. Episode 1 was 7.5, maybe 8. I really enjoyed it. Okay. All right. Ryasa, 8.5. Joel, 8 to 8.5. All right. Very good. Awesome. All right, guys. All right. I really enjoyed episode 2. I'm going to just say that off the bat. The designs of left and right are like so good. I really simp for left. Left's design is amazing. Also, like, I don't know what's up with her eyes, but during comedic moment, like very comedic relief moments, she makes me laugh so much. But anyway, their debut was absolutely crazy. They just came in and I was like, yo, who are these buff ass characters? And they're basically like, yeah, Yuru, these are your Daemons. First of all, you know, and this is one thing that I think I like want to understand going forward. Are they Yuru's Daemons because he represents the night? Or are they the Daemons for like Yuru and Asa, and it was just whoever's blood activated it first? I don't, like, that's the part I didn't really get, because if these two twins, you know, have this prophecy, whatever the case may be, I would think that they're directly attached to left and right, right? So like, one thing that I want to better understand is like why Yuru was chosen to be the master of left and right. But I like the way how they were like, yeah, so it looks like this little kid's our master now. Tell us what to do. And obviously Yuru is pissed to the sky because Gabby and Asa came in and just went full blazing and killed most of the villagers. So like, he was like, look, we can do this. We're going to take these people out. But the little girl's mine, Gabby's mine. Everything else, you just do what you want. Make sure you just get the job done. I loved that. I really enjoyed that, because I'm like, bro doesn't even know what's going on. This situation's hella confusing. And he was just like, you're here to help. You're my Daemons. Let's just get to work. Done with that. I'm pretty sure that left has Luffy's VA in the dubbed. Okay. I'm interested. I might listen to it just to get a sense as to like what it sounds like, for educational purposes. Issues turn. I was curious, does Asa have her own too? Right. Very interesting. But you know, I feel like only time will tell. The wonderful thing, but also crazy thing, is that Daemons of the Shadow Realm is going to be 24 episodes. So it seems like we're going to be running these episodes, or running these lives, for all of spring and potentially summer. I'm going to have to figure out to fold something else in between, because I don't know if I could talk about Daemons of the Shadow Realm for 6 months. But we're going to figure it out, because I'm enjoying it. I just want to incorporate something new into the mix. You get what I mean? So yeah, this girl, absolutely diabolical. I found it really interesting that she had 2 Daemons. And again, everything is in 2s. The Daemons always come in pairs. The episodes are always in pairs. So episode 1 was Yuru and Asa. Episode 2 is called Left and Right. So I found like both of those things very interesting, because it seems like there's this whole dynamic of 2s. And then obviously our most prominent duo is Asa and Yuru, being that they're twins that split the day and the night. So it's very interesting how like her Daemons are split in 2s. But let me tell you, the scenes where Yuru just comes at her like Hunter style, the action was top notch. Like, I won't say the episode is 10 out of 10, but the action was like 10 out of 10 for me in this episode. Like, they really went hard. They said, we're going to just do work now. We're going to go action wise, and then we're going to explain stuff to you guys later. Like, no questions asked. We need to make sure that Gabby gets taken out because she just killed a bunch of villagers. So I love the scenes with Yuru going after Gabby. I love the scenes of like left and right going like after. I think his name is Gabrielle because they mentioned it in a later episode, which is wild. Like you got Gabby and then Gabrielle. So I love the fact how hard they went. And man, look at those muscles. Look at that flex. I need to hit the gym because that flex is crazy. But I love that, like, just how hard it went. And I felt like if you were going to pull people in with a good episode 1, where you had people like questioning the modernity of the world and the stage that was set, then for them to come in and just say, all right, we're just going to blow out the walls with some action, I feel like was a good follow-up. Muscle Mommy, indeed. Life with Anime podcast. Indeed. Don't disagree. Joel, I need to see him with a gun. Could go crazy. I don't know, man. Like, Yuru with a bow and arrow and then a machete in a later episode, like, as his sister has said, he has a hunter's mentality. And since he's not really, like, part of the modern world, he has, like, heightened senses and heightened abilities, like, that have been trained because he's lived in this, like, older era village, like, more rural type of situation. So I don't think I want to see him with a pistol or a gun or any hand weapon like that. I think that his skills are best suited with like a machete, a knife, a bow and arrow. I'd love to see him with like an old school katana, like perfect. Yeah, left indeed. Bow and arrow is perfect for him, and he's so quick with the redraw. Right? He is amazing with the pullback, like the quickness of it and the pull and some more. I'm like, this bro, easily Olympic level shooter. Also doing damage some more, like just wreaking havoc. But then the duality of her being so happy seeing her brother alive. So this is the moment that I was like, all right, Asa, you just came in, destroyed a bunch of villagers, killed fake Asa, who apparently is not a human, is probably a daemon, but are so happy to see your brother alive. So, like, what is the deal? What is the, like, dilemma here? Why are we, like, beefing so hard with the village, trying to take the brother back? Like, what kind of perception have you been given that this needed to happen? So, like, that left me very curious, and that was the moment where I started asking some real questions. Are we talking about how Jin just fusion of Roy and Hughes? You know what? I was looking at his character and I was like, why does this feel so familiar? I mean, like the caption of this, the thumbnail, it feels nostalgic, doesn't it? Like all of this feels very nostalgic, and it's kind of wild how like this story takes inspiration from like probably Fullmetal Alchemist in terms of character designs. But you know what? I feel like creators who make a lot of manga just continue to get inspired by their own designs. Like if you look at the creator of Inuyasha, you've got like Ranma 1/2. I mean, I've seen Inuyasha first before seeing Ranma 1/2, but I was like, hold up a second. Why does this dude look like Koga from Ranma 1/2? Anyway, I digress. It just sometimes feels like that mangakas gain inspiration from their older works in order for them to like create new works. Not saying that the story is like FMA, but it's definitely like character designs feeling similar, giving the same energy. LF24, I like how ambiguous everyone is in terms of good and evil. Yeah, like I'm still trying to figure out like the vibes with the Kagomori clan. So Asa, she's not really on my bad side. The only person in this series that's on my bad side right now is Gabby, because why did she need to kill all those characters? You know? Anyway, but this moment right here, oh my God. When this girl, Hana, comes out of the woodworks as Yuru and Dera are escaping with left and right, she just pulls up with the car and they're like, what is this? Them having to explain that there are horses in the metal containment and it goes really fast was absolutely insane. And I say, you know what? I have to give the story credit for finding ways to explain modern society to someone who comes from an olden era that doesn't understand technology. Like the creative ways that they're explaining to that they're explaining to Yuru and left and right what this whole thing is crazy. It's like absolutely crazy work. Like my imagination is not that detailed. It doesn't work that strongly. And they just went to work on it. They were like, yeah, horses, smartphone smoke signal. Okay, like, y'all wouldn't like my take preferred first episode over FMAP. Look, we still have a long way to go to compare any type of stories here, but this story is like, while characters feel very much inspired by FMA, the story is definitely very different, and I like it. It's refreshing, and I like the fact that it's like transport to a different world sort of situation. Life on Anime podcast. Yeah, I've read past this, and I'm still figuring out who's good and bad. Gabby might be one of my favorites. Kabu. Oh my goodness. Wait, your favorite in terms of like her chaotic energy? Because like, I don't like her for like what she did, but for her chaotic energy, I enjoy it. Like, I enjoy the chaos that she brings to this, because like a lot of the characters are giving chaotic energy, but like Gabby is giving like chaotic, funny, interesting. I don't know. Car horsepower. Yes. Where did they hide the horses? Oh my God, that line sent me. That line absolutely sent me, because I was like, yo, when I started thinking about it, like, I imagine me coming from an olden era, and they're thinking about, where did they hide the horses? Do you think it's baby horses that are in the car? Is it just one big horse that's the whole length of the car? Like, insanity. It really does feel like it's like an isekai to some sense. But anyway, that moment absolutely sent me. And then seeing left and right and left, how much you want to say it, on the car, riding it like a horse. Obviously, they don't fit in the vehicle, kinda, but seeing them at the top of the car was very fascinating. Other interesting things was like that horse that looked like a Pegasus with the woman on it. That was a Daemon, like traveling and being like, oh, you guys are leaving. That was interesting. I want to know more about that. Obviously, there's so much more to explore in the world of Daemons, but I thought that, like, for the most part, they did like a good job of introducing, like, you guys lived in a village that was sheltered. Asa like broke the barrier, and now it's closing again. We gotta escape. We gotta protect you because the Kagemori clan is coming after you. So we're slowly figuring out what the deal is. It's a little bit confusing to start, but it was good. I would give this episode, like maybe an 8.5, maybe an 8. I think the shock and the transition in episode 1 got me a little bit more, and being that it was an introductory episode and a debut that hooked so hard, I would give it a little bit higher of a score. I actually might give this an 8. I like subbed both smack. See, now I gotta listen to the dub just to get a sense as to what the deal is. Hey Spencer, welcome. Oh, right, you know, how long have we been streaming for now? It's been 30 minutes. All right, cool. If you're new here, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. These hopefully will be coming on a monthly cadence if I can stop getting sick, and usually do these at the end of the month. I wanted to do them on Saturdays, but seeing as Daemons of the Shadow Realm drops on Saturdays, I want to give y'all a little bit of time to catch that latest episode before we like talk about, you know, all the episodes, because I'm trying to do like 4 to 5 episodes a month depending on how many weekends we have in that month, right? Issues turn. I hope they get new names. Left and right feels too basic for these mystical beings. You know what? It's actually crazy how they're just left and right. And I do hope that like Yuru gives them like names to call them by. But you know what? I feel like low-key Yuru is like super great with the hunter mentality, but sometimes I low-key feel like he's a blockhead just because he's driven by like his own emotions and doesn't think first. He just does. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, seeing the Kagemori clan, I feel like the Japanese voice actor for this dude, Jin, is the same one for like Sukuna, Eraserhead, like those characters. Because I heard the voice and I said, I know who the guy is. I think he's also Baro in Blue Lock. But you know, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I thought this was a good episode. What would you all rate episode 2? I'm giving it a solid 8 because there was a lot of chaos. The action was good. The action was a 10 out of 10. But being the fact that there was just absolute chaos and I felt very confused at the end of it was the reason I'm going to give it that number. But it was still a really good episode in terms of like follow up from the drastic world change of episode 1. Hydration is super important, everyone. Make sure you all drink water. I'm drinking tea. That's like water derivative, kinda, but yeah, that's what we're doing. I still gotta read the latest chapter of One Piece for those of you who read One Piece. I know a chapter dropped this weekend. Ryasai 8. Joel, the dub for me has been good, other than the gobble instead of gabu. Yeah, the gabu is really fun because she just goes gabu, 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 gabu. And I'm just like, I live for this. I live for this. 7.5 out of 10. All right, that's solid. I mean, I feel like I'm in the same mental space as you all. But at this point, you know, as I mentioned, this episode was a little bit confusing. So I think that despite the lull, episode 2 was like a high 7. Okay. I see you issues. All right, cool. All right, let's dive into episode 3. Episode 3, 8.5 out of 10. All right. That feels high, Joe. That feels a little bit high for me, but I can see it. The action could like raise the score a little bit, but it wasn't all action. It was like mostly action in the beginning, and then we transitioned into something else and a little bit of chaos. Regardless. All right, episode 3. Episode 3 doesn't rate too high just because I think they spent a lot of time world building. It was nice to see like more modern stuff, like because they're at this rest stop. And I feel like we spent most of the time at the rest stop. So him being like, oh my God, this is a luxury onigiri, and it comes like in this plastic wrap was very cool, very funny. Wait, episode 2, I'm sorry, 7.5. Okay. All right. See, I vibe with that. 7.5 to 8 is what I'm feeling. I gave it like a high 8, and I don't know if like maybe I am being a little bit more liberal with my ratings here just because, you know, I'm trying to give it time to build before I start like hacking at the episodes. I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt because sometimes I feel like one can be overly critical due to other people's expectations. Anyway, so yeah, I like how this episode starts out and they're continuing the comedic relief of what is the modern world versus like this old world that like Yuru is from. Episode 3, low-key, the one I enjoyed the most. You know, I could see that. See, like, for people who really love world building and love the comedy, like, this episode, for anyone who enjoys that, could easily be, like, an 8, 8.5 for them. And they did take their time to, like, create some answers, but also create more questions. But here we start off more with like the soft introduction where we're seeing him like get used to this whole idea of like, oh my God, this is the modern world. What the hell is a smartphone? It's a smoke signal. This is a car. How do we use the bathroom? Like absolutely insane. And more importantly, I think the most important parts that we get out of this episode is that we see young Yuru with his parents. And we don't really see Asa much in the flashbacks, but we get the story being told from left and right, because left and right has been there for 400 years. And we start to get the lore between these twins. Issues turn. I appreciate the world building, so I really like episode 3. Okay. Life with Anime, episode 3 was real lull for me personally, but it's a necessary episode. And like that's the important thing here. It's so necessary, and I think it really depends. Like if you love world building, like this episode is probably gonna it's gonna like be higher scored. But if you like enjoyed the intensity that was like episodes 1 and 2, like, you know, you could be swayed differently. I enjoyed this episode because it left me with a lot of questions and it made me think a little bit more. So again, if you guys watched my spring 2026 anime video and I talked about Daemons of the Shadow Realm, we have this whole thing going on. First of all, we have Asa and Yuru. They're twins. First thing is that Asa means morning in Japanese, but she has like a contrarian look for someone who's supposed to represent morning. Her being morning doesn't represent her look. Same for Yuru. Yuru's got blonde hair and has like this vibrant vibe, but he's the twin that represents the night. But they start to explain here that, one, it's been 400 years since the last time they had a prophecy of these twins being born. And these twins are supposed to have their own abilities outside of Daemons. One is break and two is seal. I personally think, and you guys could like call me out on my theory, or if maybe it's been explained somewhere, I personally think that break, which I think belongs to Asa, is supposed to represent like daybreak. Like whenever you see like, you know, the sun is like days breaking or dawn breaking, I think that like that is representative of like why she's the morning twin, and it has to do like with her ability. Versus Yuru, whenever we see his power manifest as seal, I think like if you think about night is like closing out the sunlight, somewhat of like you could say it's sealing out something. You get what I'm saying? So I really think that like despite the fact that they both don't look like the representation of their day parts, I think that the reason maybe that they've been associated with day and night with their names is probably due to the fact, or probably due to the kind of abilities that they're getting. That's probably like the strongest thing that I've been able to gather on my own about these twins with these conversations. But I'm just going to leave it at that. You guys can let me know what you think, because I really think it's interesting how these names have been assigned to them. These day parts have been assigned to them, but they look nothing like day and night. Like I would think Asa should be Yuru or Yoru, however you want to say the name, and Yuru should be Asa. But I'm just going to leave it there. Spencer, y'all, I'm so behind on anime right now. I've been catching up on Invincible and still reading Kagurabachi. I'm like 6 episodes behind on Kagurabachi, but I'm on part 2. And we just finished watching Invincible last week. There's so much other stuff that we need to watch. Oh my God, there's so much to watch. There's so much good content. I can't even tell you how much we have in the pipeline here at home, aside from anime. But you know, that's by the by, slowly making it through all the good content. And for my Star Wars nerds, Maul, Shadow, Lord. Okay. I mean, I feel like I need to brush up on my Star Wars knowledge. I've seen a lot of Star Wars, but like my brain sometimes just like, because there's so much Star Wars content and lore. But anyway, so like this whole like lore drop, and I think maybe like I really enjoyed episode 3 because of that. This whole lore drop was like crucial for me. Explaining their abilities, the fact that what's it called? Yuru was the one left behind in the village, and Asa was taken by her parents. So I like very curious, like was Asa in the cage when they were kids? Don't know. And why did the parents take only Asa and they left Yuru? More questions. And 400 years ago, the last time the prophecy was fulfilled, there were people fighting over both twins. So what is it about their abilities? And maybe what is it about their abilities when they are together? Maybe they can never be together because together their powers are too powerful and can wreak too much havoc. Maybe that's why they were separated. Maybe the village tried to utilize them in a way that didn't make sense, right? Anyway, that's my thoughts behind episode 3. A lot of my thoughts behind episode 3. So I guess you could say I enjoyed episode 3 a lot because it made you think a lot about like, okay, so like what is the premise of the conflict? What is the deal? Like I'm trying to understand these. Obviously it's still too early, but I'm an overthinker at heart, people. I am an absolute overthinker. So when I hear something that like clicks something in my brain, I'm like, all right, let's go to work. What's going on here? I'm trying to understand. I know you might explain it to me later, but I'm going to start like pulling some theories and talking about it and thinking about it. Issues turn. I didn't know that Asa and Yuru are also characters in Chainsaw Man, but I didn't know the names mean night and day in Japanese. Yep, exactly. I only know this is because like I started trying to study Japanese at one point, and like asa gohan means like breakfast. So something in the morning, it's like food, morning food, something like that. And then yoru is night. It's something that I feel like I just ended up picking up as a word along the way. Episode 1, they made it seem like being born at the same time was bad. I wonder if you can be even classified as day and night at the same time. Because, like, what even makes you children of day and night? Is it because they both came out with different hair colors? Like, I looked at their parents and none of them have black hair, it seemed. At least I don't recall. So how did they become twins of day and night? Maybe that's something we'll never get explained. Maybe it's just one of those, like, lore of anime, and you just go. All right. You just buy into it. Joe, the way you talked about day bright and night seal makes sense. I know one is day and one is night too because of when they were born. Right. Yeah. So like I got questions. What represents day and night? What does the break and seal abilities represent? Why are people fighting over them? And what exactly did they do? I'm hoping they just reveal that with time. More humorous moments is seeing Deta, without the like hat or whatever he was wearing on his head, and Hana, and them kind of just explaining that they are like, I think it's this episode or the next episode. I think it's this episode where they're explaining that they used to be part of the, I think it was the last episode. Honestly, I don't remember. Some of this stuff is blending together. They are like explaining how they used to be part of the village and how they left the village and how another segment of people who left the village is known as the Kagemori clan because they didn't agree with the village. And because of that, they're looking to get Yuru, and they have Asa already, but Asa seems to be willing and cooperating. But aside from that, because they live in the modern world and Yuru is not part of the modern world, they're like, yo, we need a cover. Big funny moment of this episode was her bringing up Jason Statham. And Jason Statham, like, just being mentioned in anime, kind of like how, like, other celebrities have been mentioned in anime makes it, like, hilarious. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was a funny moment, especially when Deta was like, yo, let's get married, Hana. Not really married, but, like, let's get married on paper. We'll say that Yuru's our kid. We'll get an apartment, yada, yada. But she was like, I'm not vibing with that, man. I don't want to marry you. You're not Jason Statham. I'm saving myself for him. And we leave it at that. But obviously, it has to happen because they need a cover. And getting an apartment with kid and 2 single people just looks a little bit sus. So I get it. Joel, I'm on like chapters 25 to 29 of Kagurabachi. I've only read the physical manga so far, but I will pick it up online soon. It is such a great read. Like, I love the fact that Kagurabachi went from this super meme manga, and they just were like, yeah, we're not a meme manga. This shit is actually real. Like, it's real and it's real good. Yeah, I didn't mention like the times that they were born. I don't think I caught that at all. So thanks for mentioning that. Like the fact that one was born at 11:59 and the other one was born at 12:01. So maybe that does it too. Maybe that's how they get their abilities and how they're classified. And then Joel's like, oh, them getting married this episode. Yeah, crazy. Also random because we had to transition. I don't like Kagemori clan, this guy Jin. I wonder, like, if they take odd jobs to protect people, because one, it doesn't seem like, and they emphasize this, that not everyone can see Daemons. Daemons always come in pairs. I thought this one was an interesting one because it's like this anglerfish, and then it has like the light on its head that I think in like marine life, this fish uses the light on its head and kind of camouflages itself so that it can catch its prey. So I like the fact that they've kind of used this like real animal, but paired it as Daemons, and then it can use like camouflage and disguise to lure in people. I thought that was really interesting, like a creative way of using like the angler's fish nature. So I thought this was crazy and like very fascinating. I guess they just wanted to use this moment to like show like Jin's Daemons and maybe his feats, and maybe like he's not really a bad guy. Like, maybe he does a lot of good. Like, he just helped this lady who was being stalked by this crazy dude with a knife and, like, took him out. I mean, I don't know if he really took him out, but took him out. Now he's no longer going to stalk this lady. So I was like, all right, good deeds being done. Maybe he's not as bad as we think he is. So then what's the vibe? And I think, like, Joe and LF24 Luigi mentioned that, like, the interesting thing about this so far is like no one is inherently bad or good. There's just like a lot of question marks as to like what are we fighting for here? But I mean, also this moment, bro is like, gotta learn how to use the bathroom, because we don't go use the bathroom in the woods, my friend. We go use the bathroom in the bathroom. I do like the fact, and it's very interesting that they're using the word latrine in the subbed as like defining the bathroom. For those of you who are watching dubbed, did they use latrine also in the dubbed? Like, I'm curious about that. I could check it myself, but since there's many of you in here that are watching the dubbed, I'm gonna ask because I'm curious if like that is like how they're also using the word, because I thought it was really hilarious how they used toilet. Because latrine is a word that's like not really used anymore or often. But I've heard it before, maybe because of other languages. I'm just gonna say that. But this episode, this is a hard one because it made me wonder a lot. It made me think a lot. I enjoyed the comedic moments. It felt very slow paced. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. What would you rate this episode? Yeah, like I love the world building and what it left me with. So I'm just gonna say that. They do. So they do use the word latrine. Interesting. I like it. Like, it's fun. I don't know what it is. Rocks was gonna watch it in dub till they did the gabu gabu. Didn't hit the same for me. See, that's what Joe was saying. And I'm not gonna lie, the gabu gabu just like plays in my head. It's living rent free in my head, because what do you mean gabu 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 gabu? Like, anyone who watches this going forward for the forever future, and anytime they think about like Daemons of the Shadow Realm, it's always just going to be gabu gabu. Latrine is more like an outhouse or communal toilet in a camp or something. So it makes sense that what he said, no tech or plumbing. You know what? I've seen one of those, I think, in Japan. I'm gonna be real with you. I couldn't use it. It is very interesting though. I've never been camping before. I don't think I ever want to go camping. That sounds crazy. All right. Issues. Episode 3 showed that the Daemons have their own world and no other beings. The lady in white on the broom. Yep. Yeah, we showed her like at the end of like episode 2, which I thought was fascinating. You'd think the other Daemons would know left and right. They seem to be on a different level. 100%. Like, they seem to be like on a high tier level based on how Yuru talks about them. But then you have this mystical unicorn lady, and it's like, yo, what are these? And I think like as the world continues to flesh out, I'm very curious to see like more Daemons. I like how like the direction of this is going. It's like really interesting to me how they're taking like real life things and like making them Daemons. Joel, for me, like 9 out of 10, but realistically it's more like a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. See, that's what I'm saying. If you love a good world build and it leaves you with a lot of questions, I think that the contents of this episode is a 9 out of 10. Let me say that. The contents of the episode is a 9 out of 10 because it gave you more to think about. It built the world. It started explaining some stuff about the separation between humans and the Daemon world. And it gave you some more insight into the Kagemori clan and maybe the fact that like they're not as bad as they may seem. So I think this episode did a lot of work. It did a lot of work for us. So content wise, it's like 9 out of 10. But like in terms of like pacing and balance with the humor and then the heavy lore, to be honest, I wouldn't have minded if they just stripped the comedy from this episode and they went more heavier on the lore. I think if they did that, I would have been sold to rate this higher. I don't know if that makes sense. This tea is wonderful. I'm drinking a green tea right now from a place in Brooklyn that's called Kettle. And I love their teas. It's so good. If you live in the New York, New Jersey area, their place is a really cool, like it's a really cool vibe. They have this really long wooden table in Brooklyn and you could kind of just sit there, order some tea, read a book. It's very small, but it's like such a chill vibe and they have like the best tea. So good. All from Japan, but so good. I would willingly sell my soul for all the tea that they sell there. Joel, I have an FMAB hot take, but I don't think this is a safe space with Joy being here. Say it. Say it. I'm here for it. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. To be honest, to be super honest, it's too early to say it, so I don't want to say it. But to be super honest, maybe just due to the fact that FMA and FMAB as anime cover kind of like different things to an extent. So I feel like the introduction of FMAB is a little bit lull because they expected for you to watch FMA. So they didn't really introduce like the full story totally. I mean, maybe the manga just does a better job because it's just source material, but I feel like this anime hooks a lot harder and a lot faster than FMA does. FMAB, let's just say that. Deity, overall, the show, like 8.4 to 8.7 this season so far, and Witch Hat ReZero. I mean, are you guys interested in talking about other anime real quick once I finish this up? Because we're about to move on to episode 4. I would like to like touch on real quick my feelings on the rest of the anime that I'm watching. If you're interested, let me know, or just like put a thumbs up in the chat. Joe says, stop this, Joel. Oh, God. We're about to start beefing in the chat? That's crazy. This is a safe space, everyone. We all have opinions. All right. Well, we're moving on. Most recent episode. I think the FMAB dubbed is overrated. I mean, I only watched it in dubbed. I didn't watch it subbed. Life with anime... Witch Hat is making me mad. All right, let's talk about it at the end. I love the FMAB dubbed. I thought it was good. The FMAB dubbed was like chill. I don't know, man. Ryasat, Witch Hat is fire. All right, we can talk about some of the other anime at the end. If there's an anime specifically you guys would like to chat about, drop the name. All right, this episode was like, again, more continuation, but we got back to the action. So they're now living in apartments. Homegirl was like, bro, you shaved your beard. Why did you shave your beard? That was the only thing that made you like resemble Jason Statham in any shape or form. Now being married to you is like an absolute no. Like, why did you do that? Comedic moment number 1. Fantastic. Comedic moment number 2. Seeing the cat and the dog. I like straight up thought they were just a cat and dog. And then like, I don't think I have a clip of it here, but seeing left and right in the bathroom and then left in the tub was like, I had to backtrack and pause it. And I had to be like, yo, what is homegirl doing? What is homegirl doing in the bathtub? Like, she looks great in the bathtub. It was giving Higuruma energy. You know, all she needed to do was this. You get what I'm saying? All she needed to do was that, and I was done. I was sold. Like, I was already sold because she's muscle mommy, but if she did this, we were done. You get me? You feel me? Anyway, this cat and dog, thought they were a regular cat and dog. Come to find out they're actually Daemons. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. They're a cat and a dog. They look domesticated. Seeing them mess with technology because they've been living like in the real world for so long was absolutely crazy. I was like, what do you mean? They can use the phone and other stuff. Like, can they talk? Do they talk? Like, I would like to see that, because seeing left and right communicate with them, like just silently, was absolutely crazy. Like them, man, this scene, I had to backtrack and watch it again because I could not believe what I was watching. But great comedic moment number 2. Like, this episode spent a little bit of time just selling us a little bit more comedy, which I feel like Arakawa sensei does really good. Just mixing like comedy and action and drama and tension is what I think I've always found most captivating about her works, is the way that she's able to blend all of these things so well and then like keep multitudes of audiences engaged. Issue turns, her writing improved over time. You know, I could see that. And I mean, like, as a writer, with more practice, you're obviously going to get better if you're like focused on honing your art. Rocks, I need to catch up on everything. My 86 audiobooks just renewed. I got too much to read and watch. It's never ending, bro. You just got to pace yourself. Never ending. Witch hat. Yeah, we'll talk about witch hat at the end. Animals don't like Yuru. Consequence of being a hunter. Oh, that's an interesting point because they probably sense that like he's got malicious intents. Okay. I mean, he just straight up was like, they're not just a cat and dog though. So it was like blatant disrespect. But you know what? I would have gotten it wrong as well. So cutting over to the Kagemori clan and like their camp was very interesting because all of these characters were like very lackadaisical. The head of the Kagemori clan had like ear piercings and dude looks like he's 50, 60. That kind of rocked me mentally. I said, all right, man, not succumbing to ageism. Good for you, man. I would love that when I hit that age, just like rocking that whole like youthful vibe. Seeing Asa use her ability, which is what I think is her break ability. I think that's what she probably used in episode 1 to break the dome. And it looks like she's trying to practice and hone it. Again, we haven't seen any daemons attached to her. I don't think that's her daemons. I think that's probably like her actual ability break. So again, I'm just waiting for Yuru to manifest his. But just seeing them all together and Jin is like, I don't even know what your brother looks like. And Asa is describing all these things about him. So I think Asa and him only spent time together until they were like the age of 10. But like, how does she know him so well? Like, very curious. Because I can't imagine that he was hunting hardcore at the age of like 10 years old. Unless he was, then, you know, big ups to Yuru. But like Asa seems to like, the way she talks about him, she sounds like she knows him so well. Sounds like she has a big bro complex a little bit. Loves him a lot. And big key information is that when Asa's parents took her, not Yuru, at some point her parents got lost. They got lost. So, that's a big question mark. Like, did the village take them out for taking Asa away from the village? Like, that would be that they are suspect number 1. And then Kagemori clan, what's their intentions for taking her in and then also bringing Yuru into the fold? Are they trying to save them from like calamity? Are they trying to save them from the village? I don't know. Comedic moment number 2, don't have a clip over here, is seeing Asa draw him, seeing Gabu draw him, and then seeing Gaba's Daemons draw him. And I was like, what's with this art style? They were like, what's with this art style? They always find a way to make a comedic moment without it necessarily needing to be comedic. Like, they find ways to insert comedy when you least expect it. And I think that's what I enjoy a lot so far about this anime. But cutting back to the action, obviously Yuru, he gets a light bulb moment. He's like, hey, so if you can smell Asa's blood and you can detect other daemons, does that mean if I ask you to find a place where you can smell Asa's blood and daemons, you'd be able to pinpoint it? And they're like, yeah. So they go ham. And I don't know what town they're in, but they just like transport him all the way to Tokyo. So he's like far, far from Deta and Hana at this point. And obviously neglected to mention that bro took the machete. Why did Deta have a machete at the front door? Like, go hide that. You've got like a 16, 17-year-old now living in your house that's a hunter and thinks that he could just go into the forest and hunt when like society is not like that anymore. So yeah, this moment was interesting. And then Jin pulling up and being like, yeah, you know what? Asa's not here. And they just like pulled up on him. It was like, this is a trap. Yuru's Daemons feel like Digins from Magi. I've yet to watch Magi, to be honest, so I may be pronouncing that wrong, and I don't have context. So I'm gonna look into that later. Magi's on my watch list, but I have a really long watch list. I need to start prioritizing what I want to watch and start going into the backlog. The machete came in handy later on. It really did. I mean, I don't know if it will after this episode, but like this moment right here and then this moment right here, I was like, oh my God, did we just get caught? It's episode 4, people. It's episode 4. We're supposed to have 24 episodes. The manga is still ongoing. Like, how much are we covering in the anime? Like, we just got caught. But obviously, with the chaotic nature that I have grown to love between left, right, and Yuru, they were like, nah, bruh, you caught us, but did you really think you caught us? Because they were like, wait, we have your master, stand down. And left and right were like, and? Like, we do what we want so long as we get the job done. Okay, vibes. See, that's the kind of leadership that you want. Like, lead yourself, be a self-starter. And they're self-starters. And Yuru, being the best leader that he is, tells them, just get the job done. You get the best results from people when you just let them be who they are and let them work how they want to work. And Yuru's just like, let's work together and cooperate in the way that makes sense for both you and I. So they get the job done. And Left comes in hardcore. Left comes in, breaks some teeth. And I was just like, this goes hard. Like, the action in this episode, it felt like it went harder than episode 2, just seeing like Left and Right kind of like stumble a little bit against the tortoise and the hare. And I think this episode was called Yuru and Jin, so another pairing. So just seeing Left and Right come in, do their work, and Yuru help figure it out was like interesting. Like, the dynamic and cooperation for as little time as they've known each other, and maybe it's just the fact that maybe they have this special bond and connection, was like really good to see. Because like the tortoise and the hare and their like master, I guess you could say, they didn't seem to have that right chemistry. But this moment right here and the flashback that Jin had thinking about what Asa said, like, he ran away. No, he didn't. He has hunter's mentality, and he just comes in and whoop, at the Achilles heels, right at the calf. And I said, oh man, like another moment that you just had to backtrack and watch again because it was so cold. I was like, you know what, Yuru? I like you a lot, man. You're a fantastic, chaotic energy vibe main character. And he was coming for blood. He was about to take him out. But, you know, I think it was just a means of a threat, and was just like, yeah, take me to Asa. This is episode 4. Why is the plot moving so quickly? Anyway, I give this episode an 8. Spent a lot of time with comedic moments, not a crazy amount of lore. I did like key thing that stuck out to me. I liked the new Daemons that were introduced, which is the tortoise and the hare. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard the story Tortoise and the Hare, like that whole story about, like, you know, how does this tortoise and the hare go again? Like, slow and steady wins the race, right? So anyway, I like the fact that they're like pulling all these different ideas. Left and Right still is very ambiguous to me, but we have the angler, we have Gabu Gabu, Gabriel. I mean, I don't know what that is, but it gives greed, it gives gluttony energy. I don't know. And then you've got the tortoise and the hare now. And like, it just seems like all of these different pulls for Daemons are inspired by real life things, which I really love, whether it be like folklore, whether it be like real animals. So I like the inspiration that's being given to create Daemons. Just gonna say that. Issues turn. Did you watch the preview to the next episode? It shows something I've been waiting on. I watched it, but I don't quite remember, because I know that it seems like in the next episode, like as we wrap this up, it seems like in the next episode, they're taking Yuru to like Kagemori camp. So like, I don't know. I don't know what's about to happen because the pacing is going hard. Issues turn. Have you like been reading the manga? I'm curious. I don't know how many of you have been reading the manga in this chat. Joe, we are basically 5.5 chapters in. Sorry, 4.5 chapters in. So it's more like 1-to-1 manga only. The manga only has 52 chapters. Okay, that's interesting because this manga, from what I read, has been going on since 2021. So it sounds like this manga may be monthly, which, to be honest, if it's 1-to-1, it would make sense. We like, if you read Medalist and watch Medalist is 1-to-1. Every chapter is an episode. So maybe they're creating anime only moments to make the chapters a little bit longer. I don't know, but I'm enjoying it so far. The pacing is insane. Like some episodes are like chill. Other episodes are like, oh my God, we're going to advance the plot really quickly. So I wonder how long this whole story is going to be. I wonder how much we're going to cover in 24 episodes. It sounds like we're going to cover half of the available material, and how long we're going to have to wait for a season 2, because I anticipate this getting a season 2. I can't see any reason this not getting a season 2. Joel, yo, IDK, why? But him being named Gabriel is so funny to me. Same. I don't know why I found that so funny. Like, Obviously there's Gabby, but then him being named Gabriel, like Gabby and Gabriel, like make it make sense. Make it made sense. I heard Medalist is sad. Medalist is not sad. It's really good. Is that what you're saying? Medalist is sad? Medalist is great. Fantastic. It makes me emotional though. Joe, so far everything is accurate and sticks to the manga, even all the jokes and small moments. So no anime only moments. It's very just like accurate. Okay. A 2-year wait minimum, I bet. Yeah, it's giving like because Free Run had a lot of breaks, like indefinite breaks that we didn't know were coming. So it's giving that type of like, oh, you know, we don't know how long it's gonna take. So we're just gonna pace ourselves. And I mean, I don't know what else Bones is working on, but they gotta take some breaks. I wouldn't be mad at a 2-year wait so that the manga can build up more chapters. But yeah, that was it. I hope you all enjoyed this Daemons of the Shadow Realm talk. Hopefully we can do this again next month. Because this felt fun. This felt fun and engaging. And like it was a vibe to hear what other people thought. Ratings for episode 4. I think I said did I say what I gave it? I'm gonna give it a 7. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7. That's what it's feeling like. It's a 7. But yeah, let me know your ratings. And as for the rest of spring 2026, my favorites are obviously this. I will say this is actually in second place now. First is Akane Banashi because the adaptation is fantastic. They're doing such an amazing job, like better than I thought they would. Just because like I didn't know if the voice actors could figure out a way to like do all these weird like sound effects that they do in the manga, like pretending to be drinking water, you know, pretending to be eating. So like I was very apprehensive about that. Number 2 is this, just because I went in completely blind for the most part. And I think this, even if you watch the trailers, there's no way for you to know what the hell this is about. And I think they do a really good job of like concealing like what this whole story is about. Aside from the title, because the title is just so ambiguous. Like what the hell is a daemon? What's a shadow realm? You know? Issues turn. Episode 4 was an 8 to me. All right. Joel, yeah, 7 to 7.5. Deity, I'm watching Kill Blue with Storia, loving those. Joel, I have been loving Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone's just always a good time. Like, always a good time. I'm sad that it's ending, but like, it's always been a good time and a fun watch for me. I've always enjoyed my stuff. Issues turn. Never thought I would enjoy a show about Rakugo. Akane Banashi is so good, right? Like, when I first started reading the manga, and I feel like I started reading the manga solely for the character designs, and I had a friend who said, like, he bought the physical volume and he started reading it, and I said, you know what? Let's read this together. I don't know if he's still reading it, though, but I was like, let's read this together. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. It might be like one of my favorite manga in recent times, like really, really up there. I really liked Classroom of the Elite. Classroom of the Elite is so good. Yeah, they have a lot of episodes out already. 7 episodes. I really don't like Hosen. Like, he's really pissing me off. Hosen is pissing me the hell off. Like, I understand what he's supposed to represent. I understand his antagonization. Like, he's a what's his name again? Ryuin, but like annoying. And I hate his smug facial expression. Like, I really just want to punch him in the face. That is what has been pissing me off so much about him. And I need someone to get rid of his character immediately, or else I'm just going to be pissed this entire season every time I see his face. Joel started Slime season 4. I like it so far. I haven't seen Slime. I'm not watching Slime. But I will say Akane is number 1. Daemons of the Shadow Realm is number 2. And then see, I'm enjoying Witch Hat Atelier, but I'm waiting for the ball to drop. As far as I understand, like, I was watching an episode from Moonpiece Podcast. If you don't follow Moonpiece Podcast, make sure you follow them. They talk about all things. Like, they talk about anime, they talk about manga. But what I really enjoy about, like, some of their episodes is that they mix in a little bit of, like, other TV shows. So sometimes they talk about the Apple TV shows that I really love. And I'm just like, you know what? I vibe with this, guys. I'm here for it. I'm here to talk about all the things that I watch. issues turn. They release the episodes on YouTube so you don't have to join a pirate crew to watch it. And that's the best part. The best part is that Akane Banashi is free on YouTube. The fact that like people are not watching it more is crazy to me. It's for free, everyone. It's for free. Anyway, but Witch Hat Atelier, because it seems like there's some buzz going on in the comments about that. I'm enjoying it so far, but I'm waiting for the ball to drop. Like, I love the animation. Like, I looked into the studio, and the studio has only done 2 works, like 2 works themselves. They've helped out on other anime, but they've never been the main animation studio attached to a work. The very first work that I've seen, and I think the very first work that they've done historically was Zom 100. So one, that left me a little bit skeptical because Zom 100's animation was beautiful, beautiful. But they had to take a pause and hiatus. I don't know if it was due to the pandemic, or if it was just due to lack of staffing, but they took a break. Because I don't know if you know, when they originally started promoting Witch Hat Atelier, they were like, yeah, this is coming out in 2025. And I was waiting, and then I was waiting, and then I was waiting, and I was waiting. We're at the end of 2025. They just announced all the winter 2020, all the fall 2025 episodes and seasons. Why is there still no Witch Hat Atelier? And then they're like, yeah, we're coming out in 2026. And I said, okay, fine, whatever. Look, do the job right. Don't do the job fast. So it came out, and I was like, wow, this is like really beautiful. And I get why people are like vibing with it. The very first 2 episodes really like caught me. They caught me. I was like, this is great. And then we started diving in, and I see a lot of people's beef with Agat, because she's just been like a big bully, which I feel like that's what Joe's problem is with the story so far and what's been making him mad. I don't like bullies, and that one girl is pissing me off, being mean to Coco. I don't care about her sad backstory coming soon. I can't respect her yet. I get it. I absolutely get it. Like, seeing someone so aggressively do that, and also I think the biggest thing for me was like, it wasn't like soft bullying. It was like hardcore to some extent, because she sent her out on a journey that like she was not prepared for. She was like apprentice day 2 and doesn't know how to draw any of the sigils yet. So, I mean, I don't know if this is like for plot convenience. I'm trying to give it like some understanding that they're creating her character to really push Coco to realize that like you don't have to do this the same way as all the other witches do. Like, you can use your own tools to figure it out. So for the most part, like, it's not great. I don't have a huge beef with it right now because I'm trying to wait and see. Like, that's what I mean. I'm waiting for the ball to drop. I'm waiting for the shoe to drop, like the other shoe to drop, to really see like the full picture. The sad thing, I don't know if it's a sad thing or maybe it's due to how many like chapters there are. There's only 13 chapters. I mean, 13 episodes that will be coming out this season. Don't know when the next anime will drop. I mean, the next season will drop, but I'm curious as to like pacing wise, how far we're going to get. We're already on episode 5 now. And I feel like we like have 8 episodes to go. I wonder how much they're going to cover. And if this is going to be like a long build up story, which I don't have a problem with, but I do wonder like how this is going to play out for season 1. And as to where we're at, more or less, without saying too much, my thing is that I'm trying to understand, and I hope they reveal it in season 1 because I don't want to be dragged along too long, as to why the Brim Hat witches are so interested in Coco. Like, what is it about her? Is it because she's a complete outsider? Is it because of her curious nature and she's like really in love with magic and would do anything to be in that world? Because that's basically what happened. She like saw the sigils, started drawing herself, and just went ham without realizing, hey, this could potentially have consequences. Magic could kind of be dangerous. And she just said, nah, I'm just going to give it a try, blind to everything else around her. So, you know, I'm very curious to see how this plays out. I do feel bad for Coco in many ways because like it just feels like the weight of what has happened to her mom and some of the things that are happening into the story are really like starting to drag her and weigh her down. And I don't like seeing her burdened this much. It like hurts to see her struggle a little bit. And I don't want this struggle to be like what makes her stronger because it's kind of brutal. I'm not going to lie. I don't think most people would come out on the positive end after going through something like this, like seeing your mom frozen in rocks. You don't know if she's able to come back. Loki kind of being hazed and sent on a journey that could have killed her, and then being stuck now in a situation that's kind of dangerous, and it seems like people are blaming her for it. Where's the sensei? I need you to step in, bro, and like get your apprentices in line, because this is kind of getting out of hand now. Like, get involved. Deity, I'm also watching Liar Game and Otaku Girls. Otaku Girls was originally on my list to watch, but I had to make cutbacks because I couldn't do a 17 anime season again. That was winter and I was struggling for my life. I was struggling. Like, girl was drowning. Couldn't do it. So I had to like issues turn. I'm glad they pushed it back. It's stunning. Yeah, like I will say that the animation is super duper beautiful. Like, holy animation, holy artwork. I like the whole like storybook vibe. It's like a really cool way of like telling the story, and I still really want to read the manga. I hope I get the time to read it soon, but you know, time only will tell. Deity, I'd feel like we'd get a lot of drama out of the witch hat characters. I mean, it feels like we're getting that right now a little bit, but you know, I think it's all for the sake of the story. That's what it's giving. It's giving for the sake of the story. Let's make this like crazy. And they're all little girls. Unfortunately, this is how preteens are like. Like, I don't know if y'all remember what preteens are like, but preteens are kind of harsh, and they have like, they're just really petty. They're really petty for no reason. It doesn't excuse their behavior, but they're preteens. People out here calling Queefree Gojo's father. See, how many white-haired, blue-eyed characters are there out there in the universe, though? We can't call him Gojo's father. He's just his own white-haired, blue-eyed character, like his own unique vibe. Also, I love the fact that he's voiced by Hanai Natsuki, the guy who voices Tanjiro, voices Okarun, voices Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul. He's voiced so many great characters. I just love hearing his voice. Joel, still haven't watched like any of the winter anime. Look, there's so much. How can anyone watch that much anime? It's actually insane. I have to sit down with myself every time practically and be like, is what I'm doing practical? Is what I'm doing realistic? I need to get outside. I need to take care of my family. I need to go like tend to my house. So again, had to make sacrifices. But so far, like, that's where I rate most of the stuff that I've seen this season. A surprise favorite is Nippon Sangoku. If you haven't seen Nippon Sangoku yet, it is crazy good. Like, it shouldn't be this great. It gives like orb on the movements of the earth energy, if you've seen that, but it's fantastic. Like, Deity, and in dubbed, Queefree's British voice. See, I heard that the voices are British for the most part if you watch it like in English, which, to be super frank, I'm like very curious. I would love to watch it in dub, but you know, I can't double time watch stuff. I think I might just check it out for curiosity, like maybe episode 1 or maybe like episode 3, where you've got like more characters' voices. But you know, I would love to hear like the British dubbing of it. This really fun season. Yeah, it's a really fantastic season. Like, there's so much good stuff. But Nippon Sangoku, fantastic. I have not seen the latest episode. I know there was a new episode, I think, that dropped this weekend, but like the art, beautiful. It's like really unique. It's refreshing. And then the moments, like the thoughtful moments that they put into the anime are also great. Again, if you know me by now, I like a good anime that makes me think, it makes me wonder, and it makes me like, it just makes the wheels turn in your head. You know what I'm saying? Joel, are they petty like Joel? Or on another level? I don't think Joe is petty. Joe's not that petty. I think he's only petty when it comes to Fullmetal Alchemist. That's all I'm gonna say. He's not petty. But they're preteens, you know, how, again, I'm not trying to excuse their behavior, but I think that realistically, sometimes I have to sit there and think like, this kid is like 10, 11 years old. When you were 10 or 11 years old, hopefully you're not currently 10 or 11 years old and watching this, but if you were 10, 11 years old and like how were you during that time? Or like how were the kids around you? Because I'm not saying any of you were like agot, but there were definitely like agots in our lives. You can't say that you haven't met like a person like that. Oh, hippie, welcome. Weird Black Hippie, welcome to the stream. We're kind of at the tail end. We're talking about a little bit of like spring 2026 anime so far, the vibes and just how we feel about them. But for the most part, like, you know, we've talked mostly about like Daemons of the Shadow Realm in the first 4 episodes. So if you want to watch it back, watch it back. But yeah, as we come to a close of the stream, hope everyone enjoyed it. I hope you look forward to the next one because I would hate to do the next one and y'all are like, yo, I did not enjoy this. But you know, if you didn't enjoy it, please tell me because I need feedback. I need feedback, everyone. In order for me to make my channel better, I need feedback. So anyway, like let's do this again at the end of May. Not Memorial Day weekend, but after that. Mel, you watching ReZero? I am. I have to watch the latest episode. The latest episode dropped. I like the opening song for ReZero. I also really love the opening song for Mao, and I love the opening song for Marriage Toxic. Those are my favorite opening songs. I'm gonna be real with you. The opening and the ending songs for spring 2026 have been a letdown for me. I haven't added a lot to my list. Usually I've added like 5 or 6 songs to like my list or my playlist, and this season has been not great. Just saying. Not loving all the songs. But ReZero is always an enigma, man. I think they're getting like 19 episodes this season. And I'm just like, bro, y'all are always throwing me for a loop. Absolutely throwing me for a loop. And I just don't know. I just don't know what to think of it every time I watch it. Like, I can only really process ReZero once we've gotten through halfway of the season. Because I'm just like, yep, there goes Subaru Den, mysteriously dying, and we don't know why. Like, he just got taken out by some mysterious thing, and we don't know why. Like, so I'm just here for the ride most of the time. I love what it gives, and then by the end of it, I'm like, oh, it's all clicking again. It's all clicking again. But at the beginning, I'm always like, what did I just watch? What did I just watch, guys? What did you just watch? Doesn't ReZero make you feel that way? You're just like, what did I just watch? It just leaves you really shell-shocked. Deity. All right, cool. I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that you like the stream. So hopefully we can do this again. We'll come back at the end of May and we'll talk about episodes 5. How many Saturdays are there in May? How many Saturdays are there in May? So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Saturdays. So we'll do 5 episodes in May. It'll be episodes 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we'll have a little bit more to talk about by the end of May. So hopefully you look forward to that. If you guys want to see anything else, you're always free to hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on Threads. I think they're in the description. If you're just joining, welcome. Sorry, the stream is ending, but you can always watch it back. Make sure you like the stream. If you're here in the chat, really appreciate it. It would help, you know, boost the video and boost my channel. And again, thank you everyone for helping me reach 1,000 subs. I don't think I said that in this episode. So thank you for that. Thank you for being patrons on Patreon. If you're not on Patreon, you can be a member for free. The links are in the comments below. So make sure you join because we'll continue to have like things that you can vote on. So you can have input as to what's being created and we can continue to build the community that we have here. The community that is Anime with Mel. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining. Make sure you like the stream, make sure you subscribe. And until next time, I will catch you all. Hope you enjoyed it and everyone have a great night, afternoon, or morning, whatever time zone